So tell me what you got here.
Well, it's a 1907 Berliet chassis, a Curtis Aero engine from the First World War, and it's just a great bit of fun.
So how did you get hold of it?
Well, I built it.
Wow.
A load of bits, really. Somebody in South Africa had collected a load of bits, but never actually put it together. When he found that it wasn't a job to take one weekend, then he sold it to a dealer in Burnley in Lancashire, and I bought it off him as a load of bits.
This is a 1911 Model T Ford, known as the Golden Ford. Raced from 1911 to 1914.
And how did you get hold of this beauty?
I found it in parts in a cellar in Herefordshire about 30 years ago.
It's a 1910 Overland, an American car, although it is constructed as standard right-hand drive. So, and this is how it came out of the factory.
Have you done the hill before?
Yes.
So it gets up all right?
Well, we've done a few modifications to hopefully make sure it does.
Well, have a good one.
1918 Buick.
And where did you get it from?
From a doctor in Oxfordshire, and it was damaged at the time, and it's had a new front wing and a rebuild of the engine and the chassis.
It looks old, doesn't it? If you know what I mean. Some people do them up too well sometimes.
It's got a lovely patina, completely original. We don't intend to restore it, just use it and enjoy it.
Now this has got to be the most stylish car and the most stylish driver. Well, tell us about the car.
Well, the car's just 1914, it's 100 years old. It's a lot more difficult to drive than my Rolls, which is just normal double-dick clutch. With this gear system with 2 gears, it's probably the most difficult car to drive. And Henry Ford was always cutting corners on manufacturing, so he didn't have a proper gearbox. And you've got a clutch and brake, which is just one handle here. But you're best not to use it, because it's best to fiddle around. If, for example, I press my left pedal, if I press hard down, it's in first. If I let it go completely, it's second. But halfway between the two, it can act like a clutch.
Right. Well, good morning to you.
Morning.
This is a Ford Model T Tourer.
Yeah, that's
Not
right.
one I've seen before, but I believe you're local to High Wycombe.
That's right, North Dean.
So you didn't have far to drive this morning?
No, it took us about 15-20 minutes.
And did you get wet?
No, we were fine.
Excellent.
Yeah.
No, so you're going to do a run up this afternoon.
That's right,
And
yes.
are you going exactly like this? And you're taking...
Well, my husband will be driving and fine. Yeah.
Well, it's a lovely car with super originality, right down to the
Yes.
picnic basket.
Yep, thank you.
And I have to ask, on the other side, where you've got half a log, is this just because the handbrake might not be quite as good as you think it
You're on
might
the hill and
be?
you need to stop suddenly. I have to leap out and put it under a back wheel.
Excellent, good.
Well, I wish that our sky was as sky blue as your car. That's all I can say.
Well, we're hoping. We're hoping.
What have you got?
A 1914 Marlborough,
And how long have you had it?
nearly 40 years.
It's gorgeous. What do you do with it normally?
Drive it.
Lots of venues and climbs like this.
Well, you know, going to the shops, going to the pub, usual things.
You're looking cosy.
Yes.
That's what you can say. What have you got here?
Keep the rain away. Keep the rain away.
We're not going to have rain. What have we got here?
1916 Dodge.
And how long have you had it? What's the history?
Oh, I've had it about 15 years. I've won the Edwardian Trophy in the VSCC with it. This is my first drive coming out of hospital, so come to this event because it's local. But I'm not fit enough to do major events yet. A lot of gym work to do. But we'll see how we get. Yeah, I've got my big wheels on the back, and she's a bit too high geared for the very stiff slope at the top. But I didn't have enough power to change the wheels. I was too tired.
The earliest car going up the hill today is a 1904 Berliet. and it appears to be having some work done on it just at the moment. So if I can interrupt you very briefly, I hear you got up the hill, but some work is necessary for the second run.
Yes, we got within sight of the finishing line and it started popping and banging, and we either ran out of fuel or we ran out of sparks or we ran out of both, but we're not quite sure. We're just eliminating one problem at a time.
Excellent.
So I had the carburetor off and cleaned everything out.
So nothing major, it's just a question of finding the little problem that it is.
Yeah, normally it's so reliable and you just don't worry about doing things. But
always the way.
When it's in public, it likes to play up and just put on a bit of a show for people.
Well, I hope it wasn't you running out of fuel, because that would be very embarrassing.
There's plenty in the tank, but we do have a pressurised system whereby you have to pressurise the tank with hot exhaust gases first.
Yes.
But we did seem to have a bit of a problem where there wasn't any pressure getting back. We've sorted that one, and we've now got fuel coming forward.
That's a
so
good
having
start.
done the carburetor, if it still doesn't work, then we've got to look at the sparks.
Go to the next one. Well, it's a lovely engine. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Please carry on.
Thank you.
And I hope you have a good run this afternoon.
Fingers crossed. Thank you.
Thank you.
1916 Model T Ford Speedster.
There's not much to it, is it?
No, it is really just a board and engine, four wheels.
Now, how did you get hold of it?
I bought it off Neil Tuckett in Buckinghamshire, but it was a clown car at one point. It was a pig racer and a bit of a racer, and I bought it in rust and put it back together again.